Hello MMA community, this is Ronin live here at the Roseland Theater for Rumble at the Roseland 60, also the year anniversary of MMASSmedia. I actually have a fighter here who's not participating in the fight tonight, but he is doing coverage for Northwest Fight Scene, so thank you. We have Josh Ryan from Touch 'Em Up. Josh is currently a light heavyweight competitor. He's fought for the FCFF many times. He has a record of 4-3, and he is a jiu-jitsu practitioner. He earned his blue belt in jiu-jitsu, and now he has aspirations of going to 185. Josh, I just want to say thank you on behalf of MMASSmedia for having us. And I just want to ask you a couple questions. Take some time out because you have an interesting story as like how you became to be a fighter.
Oh yeah.
So basically, like, how long have you been training for?
I've been training for about 3 years. About
3 years?
Yeah.
And then I understand, like we talked previously, that you started, you were a much heavier weight.
Yeah, I was actually 363 pounds when I started.
So what made you, what drove you to decide to get into MMA and lose all the weight and like become a fighter? Like what drove you? What challenges did you have along the way? What kept your drive alive?
Well, at first, because I was in a wheelchair for about 3 months, and then I was on crutches for about 3 months. Well, that was more like 2.5 months on the wheelchair, but I actually had a friend come in and physically assault me and try to take my medication from me. And I decided, because I am disabled, that if I'm going to be disabled for the rest of my life, that because I got a bad accident at work, that I got to learn how to defend myself just in case it happens again. And so after that, I always wanted to do Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and one day I happened to see Gracie Jiu-Jitsu, and it was like a week after I got beat up, and I was like, oh, I'm signing up. And so started doing that, and my coach came to me and said, hey, you should be a fighter because you have a good threshold for pain and all this. And I was like, oh, I could try it out, And I wanted to be heavyweight at first, and then out of nowhere, just by practicing in the gi and doing MMA, I lost like 60 pounds like it was nothing. And then my coach is like, hey man, if you just switch up your diet more and try, you'd lose even way more weight. So I was like, okay, we'll try it out. And at first my gi wouldn't even fit me, and it was like, I had to wear an A6, but now, then all of a sudden I got down to like an A4, and I was like, oh, it's crazy. And so started doing that, and just, I wanted to be a heavyweight fighter. And when I realized, oh man, I'm only like 10 pounds away now from being a light heavyweight, I might as well do that. And then started fighting and competing at or at 205. And now I've just realized that with my weight, I can play with it more. And like my last fight, I fought at 195. And now the next one, hopefully that's going to be in February or March, will be at 185.
Will that fight be for the FCFF as well?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Now you come from a great gym. Like you have Kevin Fox, who still is the light heavyweight champion of the FCFF. Okay. You have Austin Warner, who was the 135-pound champion before he entered the ranks of going pro. And then you have you coming down as a 205er and now going down to middleweight, and it seems like you fit right in. I mean, you have a great crew at your gym, and so how do you feel about, your training partners? I mean, everybody knows your gym.
Oh yeah. Well, my training partners, they actually, they keep me wanting it more because, there's nothing like training with them and then, you just start doing rounds for your fight, and then like Kevin, for instance, starts bullying me around the cage, and I'm like, hey, wait a minute. I need to step my game up a little more, and I start learning more from them and from all that, and it's like very inspiring, especially watching Austin, because we actually started fighting about the same time, and we fought on like 5 of the 6 cards or something of the 6 amateur fights together, and just watching him come up, I was just like, man, it's amazing, and those people at my gym, they're like my family, and they push me and drive me every single day, and they want what's better for me or what's best for me, and they want me to get better, and I want that. So together, we're just molding me into what we want me to be, and it's working.
You've overcame a lot in your life so far. As far as the incident where you had your home broken into and you were beat up by a friend when you were handicapped at the time. How did you come out of being hurt, and when did you get the sigh of relief to know that you'll be able to walk properly again, and how did you take that news? When you got the news about you're going to get a second chance to be a fully functional human being.
Well, I still had a disabled parking permit permanently, and I'm permanently disabled. But when I actually got the news that, hey man, you don't need crutches anymore, you're able to walk, and I got a little limp, and I still got hopefully a couple more surgeries to go through just for corrective stuff. But man, I'll tell you what, it was just a big sigh of relief. And as soon as I did that, it's like I was like, okay, well, I'm fighting now. Like literally, as soon as they were like, well, you know, you're perfectly fine, don't need any braces or anything anymore. Instantly, I was like, well, throw me in the cage, let's do this, because that was just mine. Let's go get it done.
And I mean, you even had another life-changing experience where you said that you actually died in the emergency room.
Oh yeah, well yeah, they actually. Oh, I was actually in the hospital for my fall where I hurt myself, and they overdosed me on pain medication, and they were teaching me how to get from my wheelchair to the bed, back into the wheelchair from the bed, and then to a chair. It's just so I could be getting in and out and using my upper strength. And they moved me to this chair, and I was like, hey, can I just watch TV? I'm exhausted because it's the first time I've done anything in weeks, you know. And they're like, yeah, you know, just take a little nap. And the next thing you know, I woke up to being surrounded by people and them saying that, hey, you died. You know, it's purple and blue in the face. They called my mom at work saying your son flatlined, you need to get here ASAP. And it was a very big life-changing experience. Like when I came out of that, I looked back on my past and it was just made all the right changes, and I was just like, you know, I'm not going to take any day for granted, and especially when it comes to like training, every day could be my last day. So I'm just, you know, I'm very grateful for the opportunity to let alone train and enter the gym. So I just give it 100%, you know, every single time.
That's awesome. I really appreciate that. I want to thank you for your time. You have obviously a great story, but everybody from Mass Media, including myself, all the fans out there of local MMA, support local MMA in Oregon, folks, please. It's a great sport. It is a sport. It's not just two thugs locked in a cage. Look at a man like this' story who's overcome so much in his life and just looks at adversity now and says, bring it. So you could say when you go into the cage that you're taking all that with you and you just want to show everybody what you want to do, right?
Yeah, I want to show that everybody, no matter what happens in your life, if you put your mind and your heart into something and you have that drive, you can accomplish it and do it.
Yes, well, you're an inspiration to me and you're an inspiration to everybody at Mass Media and all the fans out there of local MMA, support local fighters. I just want to say thank you for your time.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Now, if this is your time right now, if you want to give any thank yous out to anybody, and also too, like, you know, you've told us a lot about like yourself and stuff like that. But if there's anything else that anybody should know about you as a human being or as a fighter, now's your piece. This is your time right now. So thank whoever you want to thank, whatever.
Okay. I'd like first like to thank Mass Media for the opportunity to talk. And they're always been there. They've been supporting the gym and everybody at the gym. And I want to thank all the fans for being there. Without you guys, there wouldn't be us. We wouldn't do what we do. And I'd love to thank my family and my other family, my gym mates. You know. And I just want everybody to know that, hey, you know, just because I get in there and do a cage doesn't mean that I'm just some big brawler who's looking to start a fight or anything like that. I'm just a nice guy who happens to happen to fall in love with the sport, and you know, this is what I'm going to do with the rest of my life. So.
All right. Is there anything else you want anybody to know about you, or just the fact that you're just a guy who just loves the sport?
Yeah, I'm just a sportsman. That's all it is. I'm a gamer. That's all I like to do, man. It's a game to me. I love it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Josh Ryan from Touch 'em Up. Thank you very much. I want to thank our sponsors tonight that donated stuff. First of all, 10th Planet Portland, Dirty Boxer, and of course, Oregon Grown Designs. Thank you once again. My name is Ronin Carney, the Ron Burgundy MMA, and you keep it classy, community. Thanks.